Welcome to the Opportunity Zone meetups. This is a group that I put on a usually about twice a month basis, going back to October of last year in 2018. My name is Carl Dakin. I'll be the host for the program, as well as the current sponsor, and wearing all the hats tonight. I'll also be the primary presenter. But we're here to talk about Opportunity Zones, which is a tax incentive created by legislation in late 2017, and it is causing a lot of ripples throughout the investment world as people use it to roll over their capital gains into properties and into businesses in distressed economic communities across the United States and the U.S. territories. So the purpose of our group is to share information as we learn it on Opportunity Zones. This is a new area. The first set of rules were released by the Internal Revenue Service in October of last year, and then a second set with further clarification came out in April. And as it stands right now, we're all still learning, trying to figure out how this works, where it works, what's within the lines and what's outside the lines, and how to make this work for specific projects, for individual communities, and within those communities for real estate property developers as well as for business owners. So thank you all for coming, and we'll move into tonight's program. So as I said, my name is Carl Dakin. One of the hats I wear in splitting time between leading projects and advising people on capital campaigns is my consulting company, Dakin Capital, LLC. And what I do is typically work with people who are looking to raise money to determine how much money they need, who may have money that is willing to provide that to them, and then putting together the deal and the communications and the campaign so there's a higher probability of success of actually raising the money that's needed to move a project forward. So on behalf of my company, again, thank you for being here tonight. We're also sponsored by one of the projects in which I'm a leader in, and this is called the Sugar Beet District in Fort Collins, Colorado. The company is actually managed under the name of the Net Zero Colorado. That's the asset management company. We're going to be using this company as an illustration of the different things I'm going to be talking about later on in tonight's program. And this is a 50-acre mixed-use development. More significantly, it's being designed as a live, work, play, net zero environment that creates a situation where you would want to work there, you would want to live there, and you will also have all the other things that you may need for your daily life, and creating kind of an oasis amidst the chaos that prevails in the rest of the world today. So we're looking at bringing in a number of tenants, all by invitation, each of which will have to be in a public benefit corporation status so that their books and records are transparent to the public, and each of which will help us advance a mission of how we can live and work in a more environmentally friendly fashion. So we'll be talking about this in more detail. This project is in motion right now. We're in the process of acquiring properties, and upon acquiring those properties or putting them under contract, we'll complete our first Opportunity Zone campaign to raise an estimated $8.5 million. With that money, we will complete the land purchase, do the engineering, and do the horizontal development. We'll plan some additional debt financing to follow that, and then each of the tenants will be responsible for their individual vertical build-out, and we're anticipating that each of those may also run an Opportunity Zone campaign that will be a business style rather than a real estate style type of campaign. So we're going to get to kind of test the limits and the benefits that come from the Opportunity Zone legislation within this individual project. So what we do in this first part of the program is we give different people an opportunity to showcase actual Opportunity Zone projects. Again, this is for the purpose of sharing information about projects so people can see what they are, how they work, and who's involved. And it creates an opportunity for people to network or to team up on a project or to provide funding, depending upon what their interest in Opportunity Zones may be. So each session that we put on this meetup group, people can bring in a project. They have to make a reservation in advance with me, but they'll have 5 minutes to talk about their particular program, and you're going to see a couple of those here tonight. So at this point, we're going to go to the first of these, which is a company called Double, in which Jeff Skaman will be the person who will be making the presentation.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Skaman, and I'm founder of Double Development LLC. It's a local business that we started up about 8 months ago. We did this in order to develop a new mobile app for wireless devices. In 2020, there will be over 2.8 billion smartphones and 1.4 billion tablets being used worldwide. These devices, as we know, come with cameras, very good cameras, and the problem is they only let you record from the front camera or the rear camera from any given device. Why just take a selfie or a groupie when you can take both at the same time? Double app doubles the user experience by activating both front and rear cameras simultaneously on any wireless device. By leveraging both cameras, we will double the user experience and open up a whole new world of possibilities for photography, social media, and enterprise applications in particular. Potential use cases include photography, social media, transportation, education, sports, commerce, the list goes on, and there are many uses in the corporate world. Double will build a community base of users for its social media app, and we're in the process of doing that right now, and then we'll expand into vertical markets with additional apps and services based on community feedback. Double is a pioneer in app development and currently has the opportunity to be the leader in front and rear camera capture technology and take advantage of large, untapped markets. This shows a picture of the app, a still shot, of course, with the front and rear camera recording simultaneously. You've got the front on top, the back camera on the bottom. Those can be reversed up and down. You can turn the camera sideways as well. You can record left and right or reverse those images. There's also a picture-in-picture mode, which is perfect for using like documentaries. You can make your own documentary, training purposes, things of that nature. And then that picture-in-picture camera can be moved anywhere on the screen that you need for that particular recording application. The technology is far more than just an ordinary app because it's got so many versatile uses. The app will act as a platform for many other apps that can be designed to be industry specific, and we can also add and will add proprietary features and functions that can be easily added. We are in the process also of patenting the app right now. Having a multi-purpose app allows maximum flexibility to not only meet market demands, but to be the trailblazer in introducing new products that simply do not exist today. On the bottom there, you'll see the basic free version there of Double app. It's used for social media, photography, and videography. We'll also launch Double Pro. This will be a pro app for expanded features and functionality, including enhanced location data, adjustable frame rate, different modes of recording, enhanced security, forensics, graphics, etc. for enterprise. And then Double Drive is what we're looking at for the transportation world. The app can be used, for example, in an Uber. We can record both the front, outside the vehicle, and inside of a vehicle, and from both directions, and that would open up a whole series of uses in the transportation industry for both security and then just general monitoring of the vehicle by the owner of the vehicle. Our business model is basically starting off with social media platform and then leveraging that and moving into the enterprise space. And then here's the management team. I'm Jeff Skaman. I'm the founder and operating manager currently of Double Development LLC. I attended Morton College outside Chicago. I studied business there. I am a lifelong entrepreneur, and I've done real estate development, insurance investigation. I'm an inventor of 3 U.S. patents, 2 utility, 1 design patent. I was the CEO of a technology company involved in the transportation space, and I'm ready to start a new company here. So, Brad Cook's my co-founder. He attended Southeastern Oklahoma State University, has a bachelor's degree, and has various financial industry certifications. Arthur Mathiasen is our software developer. He's based out of LA. He's a former Apple app developer, very talented guy, and he basically wrote our app for us. And we're going to have him expand that app into the other areas we spoke about earlier. We're seeking $500,000 in funding right now to take this company to the next level. We're going to spend $50,000 on intellectual property, $175,000 on additional software development, $100,000 on marketing, advertising, $120,000, $15,000 in legal, and $40,000 for operating capital, for a total of $500,000 investment. Thank you for your time today, and for further information, please contact me here. And I've also got copies of the presentation to be handed out if anyone's interested.
Hi, I'm Ron Stites, and I'm going to talk to you about a botanical extraction innovation hub in conjunction with Opportunity Zone in Weld County, Colorado. Of course, you know about opportunity zones. We've talked a lot about that in this group. It's been mostly a real estate play, but it needs to be a business play. So we have combined this together with a good business opportunity to pull this together. There's a lot of new rules that really encourage that economic development piece and making it a real business play. In any case, a good opportunity zone play is going to have an economic driver. And so we'll talk about both aspects of this in this presentation. The opportunity that we're looking at right now, that's the main driver and sort of the beginning driver, is the CBD business. And of course, there's a lot of growing that people are talking about doing, and extraction, and Weld County is a good place to actually do that. And there's a I-76 corridor opportunity zone that works really well for this particular opportunity. It's a huge market, but there's a lot of issues out there that are yet to be determined. Figuring it out is a big deal. We want to build an innovation hub and work both angles of production, making money immediately, and planning for the future. The rewards in CBD look really good. That's a typical technology problem. The rewards look good, but the technology risk, the technical risks are there, and squeezing them out adds real value to anything you're doing. The solution, we think, is an innovation hub. We are focusing on botanical extractions, a little bit broader than just CBD. We want to acquire property, which we've already identified, that has shops and buildings available. We'll recruit businesses to fill out those offices that we can build. We want to set up operational protocols in the hemp oil extraction business and push that forward in good, sound technological ways. We'll set up testing and measurement and protocols to really measure the extraction process and put some real quality management into this otherwise Wild West business. Then we'll develop services and sell them, equipment, improve on them. There's an awful lot of plays that you begin to spin off if you're really doing innovation. Then we'll develop the intellectual property and move from there. The I-76 corridor is the perfect place for it. Where is that? It's right there in northeastern Colorado, not way out in the Tules, but actually at the identified property is right at the corner of Colorado 52 and Weld County Road 37. Pretty close to where there's growing available and not so far away from where there's technological resources available. It's a great opportunity. There's a shop out there already. There's a big structure that is partially completed, and it's really readily available to move into this new opportunity. We are talking with the owner right now, and if we move quickly, we can make real impact even this grow season potentially. So what's it going to look like? Well, we're going to put some greenhouses out there to do more experimentation, pushing for the technology, and there's a whole host of technologies that we'll be developing: extraction services, equipment, management and operation, training. All these things give us multiple revenue potential. The property is available, and with quick action, we can be in business by the time crops are ready for harvest. The plan and brief is to use well-developed extraction technology to build an immediate cash flow that actually helps sustain itself and gives us a cash flow for the whole operation, including the acquisition of the property and growing it from there. The basic breakthrough idea we have is to use flash freezing to store the hemp, so you don't have to try to extract all of this in a short period of time. You can actually run your extractor year-round. That way you have sustainable, even level of production the entire year. We intend to build, sell, and license this developed technology, and then also sell the extraction services. And that's how we see we can actually cash flow this thing very quickly. We also plan to train and certify operators on the best-in-class processes that we develop. These multiple revenue streams are, we think, a great hedge against what we think is going to be an overbuilding and a pressure downward on prices in the near term. We've actually looked at the initial costs. There's a lot of plays in here that are possible. Both the real estate, land development, building development, and also IP development, as well as the techniques and technology and expertise. We're asking $5 million, and we think that we have a plan that will really put us into a cash flow positive situation very quickly. So we can fund this as short term without that much negative in cash flow. We need some dollars to get this thing going. But then it sets a stage for developing what is truly an innovation hub that you can expand and apply to other botanicals. This is a hot area. Of course, there's a big growth in real estate. So you have the opportunity to grow your real estate investment. But you also have the ability to move bench-level technologies into commercialization. And that is a persistent, difficult problem that I've been working on for many years. My partner, Jim Klepper, has been working on many years. And so Carl Dakin has been working on how do you take a technology and move it to commercialization. Most research laboratories and academics don't really quite understand how to do that. It takes a lot of work and a lot of planning. Colorado is a great place to do this, but it needs to get done, and we think innovation hubs are the place to do it. This is actually an expandable idea, so you can think about how you might even do innovation hubs in a lot of different areas. So why Stites, Klepper, and Dakin? Well, Ron Stites, I have a BS degree in chemistry and an MBA in finance and accounting. I've got 5 patents. I've developed a lot of stuff over my career as Stites and Associates. I've done technology development. My other partner, Jim Klepper, has done a lot of development on the mechanical side and engineering side, building things small scale and scaling them up and making them work and making them prove out the technology. And of course, most of you know Carl and his long-term commitment to making these things happen from a financial, legal, and organizational way. So we think we have the right team. We just need some help to get this thing launched.
Okay. Well, thanks to Jeff and Ron for those 2 showcases of Opportunity Zone projects. And before we move to the next part of tonight's program, I want to make a couple observations that were coming out of the program, and I just want to amplify those a little bit. When the Opportunity Zone legislation was passed, for a long period of time, there was no activity at all. And then the first projects that have been funded or that are in the motion of being funded have been all real estate projects. And this is kind of normal because these projects were already in motion and they were all typically good projects that should have been funded anyway. But it caused a refocus of where a building might have been built that was already planned. Instead of putting it outside of a zone, it came into a zone in order to gain the tax benefits. But what we're seeing now with the new rules is there's now a new focus upon individual businesses. And we had a program a couple months ago, what was an optimal Opportunity Zone investment? And if you're looking at this from the perspective of an investor, you're saying, well, where do I get the greatest possible benefits? There's a direct correlation between the most benefits and the most tax savings. So if you have a company that is going to generate lots of profits over a period of time, over the 10-year life so that when you exit the Opportunity Zone investment, you are going to get the largest profits. That translates to the largest gain because there's no tax on those profits. So we talked about during that one program that a real estate project is a very good project. It's more predictable, it's got more security in it, so in some ways there's less risk. But at some point, every real estate project is going to plateau on how much value it can actually generate, because once you make the improvements and you enhance the property, usually the appreciation is going to flatten out. It'll still get greater year to year, but it's going to be at a certain level where you can pretty much predict this is the maximum you're going to make in return, and therefore maximum amount of benefit is going to come from the Opportunity Zone project. As you move into businesses, businesses have a potential for a much greater gain. And Jeff's company is an example of one of these types of a project where this project could take off. It could become a ubiquitous app that's used by everybody in the social media world, but across dozens and dozens of different commercial applications. If that occurs, Jeff's company may skyrocket, do the old hockey stick approach, and at the end of 10 years, it could be worth an immense amount of money over the starting point at the beginning of the 10-year time period. And because of that, a project like Jeff's has more upside potential benefit from the Opportunity Zone tax, because if you're sitting on stock that's going up multiple times and now you cash out, all that's tax-free. So you actually have a potential to get greater benefit from an Oz investment in a high-flying, fast-moving tech company than you could from real estate. Now, obviously there's risk trade-offs and other things that go into that analysis. And then what's interesting is the Innovation Hub, which was also the subject of an earlier program of the Opportunity Zone meetup, where we talked about kind of a hybrid situation where you take real estate, but you start putting programs and functions and specialties into it. So it's both real estate project and it's also a high-tech or business-style project. And the Opportunity Zone can act as a long-term de-risking of the real estate, because it should result in full occupancy at the end of the 10-year time period, which will help drive the value of the real estate to a maximum amount. Plus, if it's done in a fashion where you're taking equity pieces or intellectual property pieces in each of the businesses that are participating in that Innovation Hub, you've got an upside potential similar to what Jeff's company has, in addition to the underlying real estate project, which serves as a very core valuation period. So these are a couple things. I want to make some observations before we move to the next part of tonight's program, that we're going to start seeing more hybrids and we're going to see more pure business things, and some of these will have some upside potential that are going to be very, very high. Now, my guess is with the businesses coming in wave 2, we're going to see a third wave of community projects that are going to be coming in behind this. And they're going to be coming in behind because it's harder for community to get organized. The projects they're going to put together are not likely to create high return on investment, and so they're going to be less attractive to an investor who's looking strictly for a high rate of return. But they are going to be there, and they're going to have some other benefits. We're going to talk about that more in the next period. But I expect to start seeing a wave of community projects towards the end of this year and climbing through the end of next year, over the next 2 years, as more communities figure out how to employ Opportunity Zones to their advantage and take advantage of this. For those of you who have attended tonight's Opportunity Zone meetup, what I'd like to do at this time, now that we've completed the regular part of tonight's program, is to share with you some resources that may be helpful to you in either understanding the rules or finding some service providers or doing anything else that's related to putting together a campaign. At this time, one, I'd point out that the state of Colorado, the Office of Economic Development and International Trade, has a website that they've set up to support people on investing into or receiving money from Opportunity Zone funds. The website is here. Again, you'll get the slide deck by download, so this will be in the stuff that you'll get, so don't worry about getting it correct. But they've done an excellent job. Jana Persky started working with us early last year under Stephanie Copeland, and she's been promoted to director of that department. compared to other states, it's difficult to say or express just how much of a great job they've done and how superior job I've seen in some other states. So a lot of information here. You'll find news articles, grant applications for communities where you can get some matching dollars to do your local planning, different downloads from other websites that are doing a good job of finding and posting information in this area. Another one, interactive map of Colorado. You can find one on the state site, but this is a site that was put together by Ross Hare of Oz, Colorado. He's added more data into his website, so you can get more information than what you're going to find on the state site. And his areas are in blue where the state's in yellow, but they're the same areas. Lots more information on his site. Then video recordings. As I mentioned, tonight's program is recorded. That's what Steve is doing for us now. It takes him generally about a week to 10 days, and it's generally me. That's the reason why it takes the longer period of time. But this is all recorded and edited, and then it'll be posted up on YouTube on my channel. It'll be the Carl Dakin channel. But again, I'll send out an email message once it's posted, which will include the URL links for each part of tonight's program. And then more information, if you need to reach out to me, I'm happy to take questions, introduce you to other people I know. This is the URL for tonight's meetup group, where you can join the group and become a member without charge. And as a member, you'll get updates, you'll get referrals to documents and other things that come out. And there's a lot of information already posted there. We're also building a library and opportunity zones on my website for Dakin Capital. And finally, my email address and phone number is at the bottom. So thank you again all for coming to tonight's program. And I hope that you'll find everything here was good information. Feel free to bring people to the next program. We're going to try to drive up our membership through the summer, and we're going to try to build up our subscribers on YouTube. And as we see more projects, we'll have more information to share, and it'll become a better knowledge source for everyone. Thank you.